everyone. My name is Addie Martin, and today I'm going to talk about something that affects every single interaction we have, which is how nonverbal communication shapes first impressions. So first I want to start with a quick scenario. Imagine you're meeting someone new, maybe a coworker, a classmate, someone on a date, or even a stranger in public. Before they say a single word, your brain has already made decisions about them, whether they seem confident, friendly, trustworthy, or even likable. And this happens incredibly fast in as little as 7 seconds. What's interesting is that these judgments aren't based on what they say, they're based almost entirely on nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication includes things like posture, facial expressions, eye contact, appearance, and even the sound of your voice. These cues create powerful impressions long before actual conversation begins. I chose this topic because I think a lot of us assume communication is mostly about talking, but after researching through credible communication and psychology sources, including academic studies from ProCrest and Credo, I learned that nonverbal communication actually plays the biggest role in how others perceive us. So today I'm going to walk you through 3 major ways we shape first impressions nonverbally. So the first one is body language and how body language affects perception, the role of eye contact and facial expressions, and how appearance and vocal tone influence credibility. So step 1 is body language greatly shapes first impressions. Researchers estimate that more than half of a first impression comes from nonverbal cues like posture, gestures, and movement. That means even if you say nothing at all, your body is already communicating something important. One of the biggest elements of body language is posture. When you stand with open posture, uncrossed arms, relaxed shoulders, and your head up, you instantly appear more confident and approachable. Open posture also signals that you're paying attention and that you're comfortable in the environment. On the other hand, closed posture, like crossing your arms, slouching, or looking down, can suggest insecurity, boredom, or disinterest. Even if that's not how you feel, other people will often interpret it that way because humans rely heavily on visual cues when forming judgments. Movement also plays a big role. Leaning slightly forward shows interest and engagement, while leaning back may look like you want to disengage from the interaction. People also pick up on the speed of movement. Quicker, jittery movements can appear nervous or impatient, while slower, calmer movements tend to communicate confidence and self-control. So whether we realize it or not, our body language is constantly communicating, and it can completely shape the way others perceive us within seconds. And step 2 is eye contact and facial expressions. This is the second major factor, and eye contact is one of the strongest social signals we have. It helps people determine confidence, honesty, and attentiveness. When someone maintains an appropriate amount of eye contact, they usually come across as more credible and more trustworthy. However, the amount of eye contact matters. Too little eye contact can make someone seem shy, nervous, or disengaged. But too much eye contact, like staring without looking away, can feel aggressive or overly intense. Most people feel most comfortable with balanced, natural eye contact. Facial expressions are just as important. They are universal and quick to interpret. A genuine smile, for example, communicates warmth, friendliness, and openness. It makes others more inclined to trust and like you, sometimes instantly. In fact, people often judge sincerity based on facial expressions long before they hear what someone has to say. Think about times you've judged someone's mood or personality just from their facial expressions. Maybe someone who looks angry, confused, or uninterested even when they haven't spoken. Those impressions form instantly and often stick. This is why showing positive, open expressions, especially when meeting someone new, can help create a better and more accurate impression of who you actually are. Now, the last step is appearance and paralanguage. Appearance is not just about fashion. It includes grooming, style, color choices, and the overall effort someone puts into how they present themselves. Whether we like it or not, appearance does impact credibility. People often make assumptions about personality, professionalism, or confidence simply based on what someone looks like. For example, darker colors like navy or black often signal authority or confidence in professional settings. On the other hand, bright colors might communicate creativity, approachability, or friendliness. Good grooming and a neat appearance generally signal dependability and maturity. Of course, appearance isn't about looking perfect. It's about understanding that people form impressions based on what they see first. And paralanguage, or the sound of your voice, also plays a huge role. This includes tone, pitch, speed, and volume. Studies show that listeners start judging a person's credibility within the first 30 seconds of hearing their voice. If someone speaks too quickly, they may seem anxious. If they speak too softly, they may seem unsure, but a steady pace, clear tone, and warm delivery can make you appear confident even if you're nervous on the inside. So both how you sound and how you look affect how people interpret you before they even process what you're actually saying. So based on those slides, today I walked you through these 3 major ways nonverbal communication shapes first impressions. First, body language, which includes posture, gestures, and movement. Second, eye contact and facial expressions, which send powerful social signals. And third, appearance and vocal tone, which strongly influence credibility. We make first impressions incredibly fast, often before any real conversation happens. And while verbal communication is important, nonverbal cues speak even louder. So the next time you meet someone, whether it's in class, at a job interview, at work, or on a date, remember that your body starts communicating long before your mouth does. When you understand how nonverbal communication works, you gain the ability to create stronger, more positive first impressions every single time. And then here's references for more information. And that's all. Thank you.